If all of the HBCUs are in North Carolina, I understand why you here today. So welcome. Please come and
All right,
speak
thank
to
you
us.
very much. We're going to take the whole pie. How about that? Let me say, I got off this plane about 30, 40 minutes ago, but it is a privilege, certainly, and it's an honor to be here. And thank you all for being here and for what you do. I am a proud graduate, twice, of North Carolina A&T State University. Who took me in, poor black girl from the ghetto of Newark, New Jersey, wasn't fully prepared, but A&T took me where I was and got me to where I needed to be. They molded me and shaped me into what they knew I could become. And I finished my master's there as well as my bachelor's and went on to the Ohio State University to earn my PhD, but only because of the North Carolina A&T. So I understand what HBCUs do for our students. So I just want to thank you for the investment of your time. And I'm just delighted that, has Congressman Thompson been around here?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to thank him anyway for convening this meeting and for all the work that he does here. I'm a relatively new member of Congress, but not a new member to public service. I served 34 years, 20 years in the North Carolina House, 9 years on the Greensboro City Council, 2 years on the school board there, and 40 years I taught at Bennett College in Greensboro.
Amen.
So I have HBCU running through my blood everywhere. But it's, you know, we do have to stand united in this effort. All of us know how important our schools are. There's a lot of money around here in Congress, trillions and trillions of dollars. And so I learned that out of the money that was distributed and allocated in, what was it, the last year, what was the budget year?
145 billion.
145 billion, that we only got a percentage of that, which is just not acceptable. And I think sometimes we have to, and I know I'm off script and that's fine, but I think sometimes we have to really make sure that we give you the information so that you know what's available, so that if you need any assistance in terms of getting that support, then we can help you do that. And so I really thank Benny and particularly Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee for raising the issue and the inquiry, because we deserve, our students, every dollar that is available. And so let me again thank you. So again, you know, Horace Mann reminded us that education is a great equalizer. It certainly has been in my life and all of the young people that I've had an opportunity to work with, and all of the talented members of the faculty and of the staff who really help us to do what we need to do. Doing so much with so little. Our schools are over a century old. That's 100 years, and some 120 and 30 years. And so we have I think a perspective on education that a lot of folks don't have. And we just don't get, when we talk about a piece of the pie, you know, I think equity ought to be about giving people what they need, and that all the time. And I used to say in the General Assembly that we don't have to slice the pie equally, because if you've had all of yours, and we'll take everything now. So, and that's not being selfish when you think about, and you look historically at the fact that we have been left out of that equation. I even think of our 1890 HBCUs who still don't get the matching dollars that they need. And I was talking to a group of folks yesterday about the importance of local politics, because what happens locally determines what's going to happen here in the Congress. Our state legislatures are not putting the dollars in for education as they should, and we're not holding them accountable enough. Congress is not holding the state legislatures accountable enough when we don't get the matching dollars. So we're going to have to be much more diligent in our efforts and in our pursuits. And I want you to know that the members of Congress, particularly the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and even the bipartisan caucus, which I co-founded with Congressman Bradley Byrne from Alabama. And the caucus is really, it was set up to do three things. One, to expand the dialogue about our schools and the value and the contributions that we've made, and even some history. And then second, to educate members of Congress and our staff about our schools. A lot of folks here never heard of an if you watch the news, you know, when the question was asked to the president, he probably didn't know what he didn't know what CDC was. So I'm sure he didn't know what HBC was. But the point is, and the last thing we want to do is to create bipartisan legislation. I taught art for all those 40 years, and even though I'm a creative person, I'm creative enough to know that around here you need numbers and you need votes, and so we need them on both sides of the aisle. But and so we're pursuing many opportunities to try to make things better, because I think about when I was coming along and going to school and really trying to make my way. Had it not been for an HBCU, I would not be standing before you today. So I just want to thank you. There was probably something on here that I should have hit on, but you all know, for example, that 3% of all of our colleges and universities, that's what our HBCUs make up. But yet we are producing large numbers of graduates in many, many fields, in STEM fields and engineering and so forth. And it's just important that we make that opportunity available for young people, because of all of the civil rights for which the world has fought for 500 years. Du Bois said the right to learn is undoubtedly the most fundamental. And so we want to keep that. We want to certainly provide the opportunities in this area, in this field, because in the defense budget, there's a lot of money there, and we need to make sure that we can take advantage of those contracts and that are available. And again, the Congressional Black Caucus and all of our members of the bipartisan HBCU caucus stand ready to work with you. And I thank you so very much for being here and for the interest that you're showing in our kids. That is just really so important to me. I retired in 2012 from Bennett, and I could have just gone home because I'd already retired from the General Assembly after 20 years. But I still felt that there was something else that I could do to contribute, and that's why I'm here. But the Lord's blessed me, and He's brought me from school board to Congress, from the ghetto to Congress, and so I'm going to continue to work as long as I can. But I thank you all so very much for all that you're doing, for being here today, and for sharing the ideas and the stories and letting us know what it is you need. And we're going to see that it's done. Thank you so much. God bless you.